Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm currently bought myself a set of Teravail Cumberland gravel tyres. Well, they're mountain bike tyres, 29er by 2.6. So my first impression so far is they roll really fast, but they're heavy and you feel that weight. Once you're up to speed, it just sort of rolls along really nicely. However, you do feel that weight, and after yesterday I did like a 50k ride, I was bloody stuffed. Let's have a look at the profile. Okay, so they're tubeless thready. These are the actual light and supple version, but they're only 100 grams lighter than the heavy version. They come in at around 1100 grams, so pretty weighty, but you can see that center profile, that's why they're fast. But then they've got these great knobs for hitting the mud, which I did hit a bit of mud yesterday. Did go through the dirt, had a bit of everything yesterday. And yeah, no, look, I really like them. They look good, as does the Nordest. Such a beautiful bike. And yeah, first impressions are I really like them. I've also just put on this new set of handlebars. They've got a 16-degree back sweep and a little bit more rise than what I normally use. Really liking those. I'll do a review on them later. However, the Teravails, I'll give you a better report once I've ridden them for a while. Okay, here we go. Tracks are finally starting to dry out. Here the other day, still a bit muddy, but we had 3 days of sunny weather, so it should be looking pretty good today. So on the rigid fork, this bit's a bit gnarly through here, I gotta say. Those 2.6s are really good in this sort of stuff. Bit of a bit here, so they grip pretty well. That was a pretty steep bit there, no problem. This sort of riding, you don't really notice the weight so much. But when you're on the flats, when you're on the tar, you do notice it when you hit a rise. So I've got the far handlebars. I think it's a 30mm rise, 16-degree back sweep. These bars are fantastic.
As you can see, the front's a lot wider here, between bags on. It says they're comfortable, these tyres. Pressure wise, I'm not actually sure what I'm running. I never measure them, I just go by feel. They're not real firm at the moment. They're absorbing quite a bit. I really like them, but I'll swap them out for my other. I've got some 2.25 Aspens, which are about 600 grams, and I mount them on the lighter wheel set, so I'm easy, close to 2 kgs lighter with that setup, and don't notice it so much on the flat, but you certainly do on the hills. But in this sort of terrain, these are really good. I reckon they'll be great for bike packing. And carrying lots of weight anyway. Oh, what's another kg? I could do with a couple of k's off the frame. It's all relative, isn't it? So these big guys on these lightweight machines going light as they can. Easier to and cheaper to lose it off your body, for sure. Bit of a gnarly bit through here, that's for sure. Anyway, it's amazing how much you lose when you haven't been on the mountain bike for a while. So you can see it's an awesome test for these things. Even without the suspension, they're still amazingly got a nice give in them. Combined with these bars, which are made out of an aluminium that's supposed to have more give in it than your standard 6061. Whew. Just the table. So it's a nice place to ride. No one out today. So this Nordest is still a lot of fun even with the rigid fork out here in the bush. Something about this bike. And by the way, I sold the other one. Got some good coin for it. Unfortunately, it got stolen from the guy 2 days later. So sad, but he was a bit silly. He locked it up on the front veranda in a fairly dodgy suburb with a lightweight cable lock, and it's bright yellow. Yeah. So one thing, these, once you hit a little bit of a downhill, oh, these things just coast. They're so good. Just coast along. Rolling terrain, they're brilliant. Where you can get the momentum to get over the little hills. So the setup I'm running now on the Nordest is what I consider pretty well perfect now. These new bars have made a big difference, the Q-Labs inner bars. The big fat tyres. The Cane Creek Thud Buster. Just makes this bike so comfortable. You can just sit here all day, plugging along. I would be partial to the giant approach saddles that they have on their Revolt. Got them on all my bikes now, they're so comfortable. Really nailed it for my butt. Oh, nice to be out. It was miserable this morning. Thought, bugger it, I'm not going out today. And then the sun came out. It actually warmed up. I'm on shorts today. So cornering, these things really hook up on the corners. Once those big knobs kick in, there's sort of a point, because of the rounded profile, and the second last knobs aren't that big and they're fairly spaced apart, so there is one area that's a bit grey. Then once you lean a bit more into it, big knobs come on. Woo. There you go, so there's a bit of a different angle. You can see the terrain as well. Yeah, we've got a bit of a tricky bit coming up. Get the ears ready. pretty steep incline here. Like 25%. Whew. There's something about the bigger rubber that transforms the bike. Got the weight penalty, but the stability, cornering, negate it. It's just more fun to ride. When the 2.4s were good, that I had on the one I built up. Okay, another very tricky bit. Yes! Oh, bit of a sleep out on the rock, but been a while since I've got up that without stopping. Alright, back on the chest view here. The camera doesn't really like it on the bumps. And the other setting. But you know, it's all about loving your bike. If you build up a bike and you love it and you just want to ride it, then it's a good build. And this Nordest is exactly that. These tyres just complement this build nicely. Tracks have changed so much this year with all the rain. There's some really good trail work done on them. Oops, wrong gear. Anyway, right. This is way more gnarly than, oh shit. Too much pressure. Need to put a bit out. That just bounced off. Well, you can see it's quite low as it is. I think I'll stick with it. Don't want any damaged rims. Yeah, look, the suspension things, I was thinking about putting some forks back on it, but if we're just poking along, not smashing Strava records, the rigid fork is actually fine, especially with the 2.6. This next bit's a pretty good test as well. There you go. Mud test passed. Oh, so rough now. So rough. Yeah. Whew. Pretty damn good. That sort of stuff you just wouldn't do on the smaller tyres. The gravel tyres, your 45ers, get it. That's why I'm partial to these flat bar mountain bikes. So more practical. SQ Labs, transform it into a drop bar when you need to. Look at that view. Amazing. So we can see they're so clear, a little bit of mud here and there, but on the whole these tyres have actually shedded the mud really well. So I'm on the bike track now, and what you'll notice with these tyres is there's not a lot of sound, which means they roll pretty efficiently here. You just cruise along on the flats, 24, 25, no problems. So I'm rating them pretty highly. Admittedly, I don't have a lot to compare. I had the G1s, Swabi G1s, 27.5 by 2.8s. They are fantastic. Really like those. And it'd be great if they did a 2.6 29er. That would be awesome for gravel packing. I've ridden a lot of the traditional gravel tyres for drop bars, and my Pirelli mixed terrain, they were my favourites. I was running 45 mils on my Giant TCX, which I'm selling now. That's sad, had it for 3 years, but I want something that can fit wider tyres, a bit more upright. It's a cross bike after all. So my next bike build will actually be a Kona Sutra SE, but it's not the one with all the mud guards. I've actually managed to pick up a frame from a local bike shop on the weekend. It's almost identical to the Sutra LTD. It's actually 1 degree slacker. And the head tube, 1/2 degree steeper in the seat tube. Slightly longer by 4 mils. Reach is slightly longer. Head tube's 160 instead of 147s, so the stack's actually 20 mil higher, which will be great. So that's going to be the next bike review. I already had a Kona Sutra LTD, the gold one, which I sold. Loved it. And I was going to build up an alloy gravel bike, but this came along. You don't pass up those frames. Just can't get them at the moment. So anyway guys, I'm rating these tyres pretty highly. 8 or 9, they'd be 10 if they were like 800 grams. Just, that'd be half a kilo off the bike, which would make a big difference. Also these wheels aren't that light. But I'm going to keep them for now because I really like all the other aspects. They roll well, they corner well, they grip well, they're nice and wide. They're true 2.6. They just fit in the back of this frame. Super comfortable. Casing's great. Tough as nails. Yep. Highly recommend them. But I'll take them on a good long gravel ride and see how I feel after that. So thanks for watching guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and most importantly comment, so we can share our experiences with each other. Alright, see you next time. Thanks for watching.